So I am a writer, a mother, a wife, and a friend, and a sister and a daughter. And what do I love the most? I think I think that I'm very accepting of different ways of looking at things and different kinds of people. I try not to be judgmental at all.
Well, sis, I don't know. I be trying, but I'm judged. Well, we know you so many things, but I first knew you as a writer and editor back in the editorial Tia days, and I guess you still are editorial director.
I am. I'm an editorial director at Estee Lauder. So the difference is that when we first met, I was at magazines. I was at Essence and Elle and Glamour. And so now I work within brands. So it's a little bit of a difference, but it's still beauty writing.
Right. And that's a dope progression. Like what I've noticed in your career and what I see when you're making your moves throughout all these magazines, and now you're writing, and now you're, this editorial director at Estee Lauder, you do things, sis, that are just like, you know what, let me go over here. You know what, I can write, I'm going to do this. And I think that that's something so beautiful about a Black woman who's able to expand and try different things. So tell me, like, what is it even about words that keeps you anchored in this space?
That's a really hard question because it's never been anything else for me. Like I'm one of those rare people who always knew. Like I wrote my first novel when I was 7 in my mom's steno pad, and I even had an about the author section in the back.
Come on, about the author.
Yes, Tia Williams, 7. I always knew. The world made no sense, but everything made sense when I was putting words together. Like when I would sit down to write, like it would make things that I didn't understand, palatable. So it was a way of me when I was a kid. Like if I had a bad day, I was so socially awkward. If I had a bad day at school, or like I said the dumb thing to the boy, or like the mean girls were weird to me or whatever, like I would go home and I would rewrite the day in my favor.
Oh, wow. And I really love that.
Yeah. So it was just like a coping mechanism for me. And, I would try to make myself laugh. I would try to, I would put myself in these romantic situations when I would write. It was like I was writing Tia Williams fan fiction.
Right? You know what I love about that? That's a therapy piece, sis. I've done that before where, something that happens to you, we often victimize ourselves. And I was tasked with changing every story where I would do that to where I was a victor.
Wow.
Same story.
That's the same thing.
But I'm a victor and not like, oh, this happened to me today. So when you said that, I'm like, little 7-year-old Tia was on to something.
Yeah. I mean, and all it is a perspective change,
That easy.
So yeah, that's how I really got into writing, and I've always done it. And I knew when I was in college that I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to be a beauty writer for magazines, and I wanted to write novels. And so that's what I came here to do. Amen. 2 weeks after I graduated.
I know that's right. Yeah. I love that, Tia. I ask a lot of writers when I get a chance to talk to different writers in different mediums, all about like, what is it that you're sure of when it comes to writing? Sonia Sanchez told me one time, writers write, period. And I was like, she right. And that hits me, and it hits me a lot through the years, because I'd be like, oh, wow. As I'm trying to write this first book of mine, I'm like, oh, this is writers right.
Writers right. Yeah, we have to.
So Tia, the authoress that you are, what do you know about writing for sure?
I know that it has to be a no negotiation proposition. Like if you really want to write, you can't hustle your way out of doing it. You just cannot. You can't, you can't, because there's always something better to do than to write. Always.
Literally, like, how do y'all do this?
there is always a more fun choice. There's a sexier choice. There's a nap. There's always something better to do. Going outside.
Just doing all kinds of foolishness,
Yes,
reorganizing, just
all of
building your
that.
patio. Like you just like, girl, this
Yes.
was due on the 14th. Like, what are you doing?
You have to do it. You just have to do it. And the discipline piece of writing is
Mm.
so underestimated. I always have people say to me, "Oh, I've always wanted to write." And, in my head, I'm like, well, but you didn't do it. Like, it's really just black and white. Like, you have to do it.
Pen on the paper.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a good piece of advice. I hope they take that with them. Be sure and stop acting like all this other stuff is more important, because Lord knows it is. It makes,
Yeah.
when you sit down to write, it does seem like everything else becomes the priority. You're like, there is a piece of dust. Now I have to dust the whole house.
There is a piece of pizza in my fridge.
And now my fingers are greasy. How can I type like that?
Exactly. Exactly. So you just really, really have to commit to it. And, on the outside, it seems like such an enormous, undertaking. But honestly, when I see people who like are fitness buffs and will get up at 5 a.m. to run down the West Side Highway every day, rain or shine, it's the same kind of thing. Like, you just decide it's that important to you.
Come on with
I
it.
have to run. I have to do
Yeah.
this for my health. I have to do it. It's my therapy. It makes me feel better. It's going to suck getting there, but when I'm there, it'll be fabulous. Like, you
Worth it.
have to tell yourself those things. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So we know that we have a lot of really amazing magazines under our belt as far as you being this amazing writer and editorial. But then you did something that really, truly inspired me and continued to inspire me throughout my career. It was Shake Your Beauty.
Oh,
I
Shake Your
just,
Beauty.
yes, because I love when people, because I've always wanted to be the girl at the magazine. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But in the back of my mind, that was building me up to be Khadijah with my own flavor magazine. Right. But I
Of
remember how
course.
much she struggled and how difficult it was. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to build up to that. And then I'll be able to get my own situation. But to see that you like struck gold in trying something. I know that the internet was a very different place. It was little infancy stages on blogging and all that. So you managed to put yourself in a space that created you to be this like template for brown beauty girls on the online. So can you talk about what Shake Your Beauty has taught you throughout those years about life, about yourself, about writing?
Well, I learned a couple of things through writing Shake Your Beauty. First of all, that if you want to make a name for yourself as a writer, it's really important to find what you do better than anyone else.
Mm.
Whether it's, are you a fragrance fanatic and you have a very specific point of view about that? If you look back and think about those early sort of digital beauty pioneers, like the curly hair vloggers, like Curly Nikki or Afrobella, or, these very at the beginning, they found their lane and they stuck to it, and that became their brand. And for me, it was really this chatty, conversational, sister to sister voiciness.
Yeah.
And I've stuck with that. Even in my fiction writing, it's like, when people read it, they say it sounds like I'm talking to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so it really helped me find my voice, and that's really important when you're writing for someone else's brand, a publication, a TV show, something that belongs to someone else but isn't like your soul. So
Yeah, but
yeah, it was.
that's also a
Yeah.
tough place to be in sometimes, when you do have a very strong point of view in your own voice, but then you're writing for these other people and you're having to, shape it into their voice. But do you suggest that the kids do that, like when it comes to creating the career they want? Would you suggest that they are creating their own stuff on the side while they're working for these brands? Like, because a lot of people will tell you to quit. Some people will say, hustle. But is it, as a writer, is it very tough to split yourself in that way?
Um, so here's the thing, I will never tell you to quit. Like there's some people who are just entrepreneurial minded. I I don't know her. Like I am not her. I need a steady check. Like I don't know. That was another thing I learned with Shake Your Beauty. I wrote it for maybe 14 years and then I was like, oh, this is a business. I I don't know. Like I was seeing my contemporaries going places I couldn't go because I didn't have a business plan. I wasn't interested in the business stuff of it. I just wanted to write things. Um, but anyway, I think that you can definitely do both. And I think it's helpful to do both because when you work for a big corporation, a label, a brand, film production, TV production, newspaper, magazine, you're learning a set you're learning a set of skills that would be really tough to learn on your own. You're learning how to work with people, you're learning how to be edited, you're learning um, you know, you're learning writing style tips, you're learning the language, you're learning how to communicate to an audience in a standardized way. When you're only writing for yourself, you may not, you may miss out on some of those pieces and not be as polished as you would want to be.
That's true
It's
also.
like Picasso said, learn the rules so that you can break them. But if you never learn the rules, you have no structure underneath. Yeah, you're just chaos. So you have to
chaos, it's turmoil. Yeah, that is true.
So that's been very beneficial for me that I worked for all those publications very early because it was an education. It was like a master's degree.
Yeah, and definitely on the job master's training for sure. And especially all the places that you've been able to work. And now, we see you a lot more in this book writing and novel writing. She's an author more so than we think of you in editorial anymore. And it's like, wow, your career continues to progress in ways that I don't even think, like, are you ready for this? Like, you are just like, book, it's a movie now. I was just like, what?
I am not ready. It's crazy because in my head it's like
write a movie.
No, not at all. And you know how it is. Like I feel like I haven't changed what I've been doing, and suddenly everything around me has changed. Like I've always written in the same voice. I always kind of write about I stay in the same lane. But there is something to that because the world has changed around me. I mean, when I wrote my first novel, it was 2005. It was the year after Shake Your Beauty. And it was about a Black beauty editor. And publishers were like, can beauty editors even be Black? Like they didn't even understand. Like they thought that my main character was such an outrageous reach. Never mind the fact that she was based on me.
You
who was
actually
standing in front of them.
Yeah.
I actually truly exist. Like we are out here. So
but you were like at the time one of 5.
Not even
3.
Not even. Yeah, it was slim pickings. But but the fact is we were there though. And even if we weren't, why can't we exist in any space? Like why can't we have Black kids at Hogwarts in Harry Potter? Like why can't we have, we have to exist in a certain space in media or else it's out of place. We have to convince white people that we belong before they will let us. And I just, it's kind of gross. But because of, all of the changes that this country has been going through over the past 4 years with the administration and Me Too and George Floyd and BLM, everything, it's really, you see the domino effect in all of the creative industries. Like suddenly it's like, oh, we can't continue just to be for white people, or we can't just be white male run anymore. Oh, and even if they don't really feel it, they know that the optics of it are no longer acceptable. And so suddenly, everyone's really open to Black voices and Black writers and new Black fiction and seeing Black people in genres we don't usually see them in. And so it's a little bit of a revolution and a renaissance right now. And I think that is part of why all of this stuff is happening, like my book turning into movies, turning this and that. And it's because the world is opening up a little bit more.
Yeah. Now they're starting to actually listen to Black women. It used to be something that you could say and hashtag real cute on your socials, but now it's actually happening. And you are representing just a Black woman whose words are transcendent, sis. Like it's going places. And I really love that for you. And I'm just like, okay, is this a real experience? Are we doing diversity quotas? Like, that
is my question as well.
I'd be like, do y'all really want me? Or I'm a Black woman and you just feel like, okay, box checked. But do you feel, are you, because it's one time, but it's not like your stuff isn't quality. So it's not like you should question that. You know what I mean?
Right. The interesting thing there is that, that question is always there. Like how much were you influenced by diversity and inclusion in this, hire or in this conversation or this interview, or, you have to wonder, especially now when all of the gatekeepers are being held to the fire, like how authentic some of these, some of the sudden interest in Black voices is. But at the same time, like, my parents really taught me that whatever room I'm in is the room that I should be in. Like I never felt, and they had to teach us that, me and my sisters, because we were, in predominantly white schools and white areas. And so they just really like over instilled in us that we were not to feel uncomfortable anywhere. And if that we had gotten a job or gotten into our dream college or gotten that great internship, it wasn't because someone was feeling sorry for us. It was because we were the best. And whether or not it's true, it really, it helps put your shoulders back a little bit when you lead with that. I'm supposed to be here.
I'm supposed to be here. Ain't no affirmative action, or what they thought affirmative action was.
Exactly.
You deserve to be here. Well, we love to see it, Tia, because here we are in June. The new book is out. And I had some people, because I posted it on my social, and some people were hitting me. They were like, is that it, Chicks, Tia? And I was like, I love that. So just know that your people are there, and they are excited about your new book. And I'm just getting myself into it. Congratulations, 7 days in June.
So it looks so good in your house.
It looks so good. It looks extra great on my bookshelf. I ain't gonna show you because I told you it's boxes and air mattresses over there. But here we are. The book is out. I'm excited for you. But what are you excited about when people open this up and start digging into it?
Well, I think it's, I'm kind of known for writing, sparkly, very sexy, dialogue-y, love stories, really, really juicy and lusty and everything. And this one is definitely that, but it's also a little bit darker. And I think it's going to surprise people. The two main characters have...
They're going to stress us out.
They're going to stress you out. They have very colorful past, yes, that they've been they've kept it hidden for a long, long time. And they had like 7 days together as teenagers, and then they went their separate ways, and then they randomly meet again as adults. And they're both authors, and we find out that they've been secretly communicating to each other through their books over the years. And so running into each other again for the first time in 15 years dredges up all of this, like, tortured past and all of these secrets. And it's very multi-layered and a little bit different than what I've ever done.
Oh, well, we're excited. Can't wait to see it turn into a movie as well. Look, that's that new Tia Williams trajectory that we're dealing with over here. But it's so exciting because I'm like, 7 days as a teenager and then coming back all these years later, it gets me giddy. And it just makes me think different things about love because we experience it so differently in different age groups. So I'm
Yes.
like, if I fell in love with somebody while I was 18 in 7 days, I could believe that. As a 30-plus-year-old me,
I know. I know. I don't really know you. Yeah.
I'll be looking at him like, sir, have you ever had fast love before?
Oh yeah.
Do you believe in fast love?
I do. I mean, here's the thing. It's who knows if it's love, but it's fast something. Like you can't, you can feel very, very strongly, very, very fast. And I don't think that's to be discounted. And I also don't think teenagers are crazy.
True.
I think that their frontal
Hormonal.
lobes are not developed. They are hormonal, but I think that they, sometimes they make some sense, and sometimes those connections that are built when we're young were meant to be there and they stay. I mean, look at your platonic relationships that you might have from high school or when you were a child, and it can stick. It's all a matter of timing and where you are in your life and what you're ready for. And in this case, even Shane were not ready because their lives were tumultuous and crazy when they were teenagers. But when they meet again as 30 somethings, they've been to therapy, they have 401ks, they have modest real estate, they have stuff going on, and they have a little bit, what they're bringing to the table is very, very different. And so it was really fun to explore, like you're saying, the difference between fast love then and fast love now.
Yeah, I love it. Listen, it ain't me if I don't dig up in your business a little bit, because Tia's in love. And
yes,
you just shout it from the rooftop, sis, because you deserve it. It took
so long. It took so long. I was like, where is this man? I was on the apps forever.
And where was he, Tia?
In Denmark.
See?
He's Danish.
God, is that what you... Do I need to get on a plane for him? Okay.
Just let me know. And see, that's the thing. When I met him, I was like, oh, and now I feel like the fool because I've been dating around forever. It's always blown up in my face. And the whole time, he wasn't even here.
He wasn't even here.
But God, and that's also
that he wasn't.
Exactly. I wasn't.
Now that you're here, look back, you'd probably be like, oh, I should have. Okay, I got you.
I got it. And it's also about expanding your horizons, I mean, I used to be very like white man. I don't even understand those words. Like how,
Black
but
love.
I got to Black love. I got to a point, I was just like, love though. Like, can I like anybody? Like love would be great,
Any love.
And then any love. And it hit me smack in the face. And it was fast love. We knew instantly and we didn't look back. And it's been 3 years and we got married in our, in a little hotel room in December, a little quarantine wedding.
Yes.
Oh. And yeah, it was amazing.
Yes, it's because you look loving and happy and just all the things. Like when I was looking on your social, I said, look, she is in love.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's really incredible.
You know?
And I did not think.
How did you know?
It was like in the molecules, you know that feeling. Like we sat down on our first date and it was a Bumble app, it was molecules. And it was like a Bumble app situation. And honestly, I really only swiped on him because he was fine. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll get a cute couple dates out of this. But I sat down and we started talking and instantly it was like we were both smacked in the face. And he knew too, and it was crazy. And we had so many things in common. And what's really insane is that a Black woman from Virginia and a Danish man from right outside of Copenhagen could have everything in common.
That is crazy.
You just never know.
Wow, sis.
Yeah.
You really don't. I mean, I'm willing to open up my horizons and all of that, but like I'm just holding on to Black love and this whole fantasy.
I hear you.
I mean, my
I hear
love
you,
is
but
still Black, even with
that's what I'm saying. Like it's still Black love. I mean, it's my Black love.
it is Black love for you. You just can't go around saying that. Or I wouldn't suggest. I have Black love. Don't do that.
Don't do that. No, I think you should definitely like go for, you know, the black love. But just while you're going for the Black love, why not try other love?
Let me
Just
just
to see.
other color loves or
Yeah.
what they are
Other
giving.
shades.
Well, you are in the midst of just celebrating and promoting and pushing out 7 days in June on top of all the other things that you have going on, which I'm sure with production and everything for The Perfect Find, like you're doing a lot.
A lot. I mean, it was on hold forever, obviously because of
Yeah.
COVID. So the Perfect Find production is only just now going. It's like they're doing location scouting like right now as we speak in New York and Brooklyn. And I know it's all happening, and the casting. They've had the three major roles casted: Gabrielle Union, and Eric is Keith Powers, and Darcy is Niecy Nash, which I cannot.
I was about to say, girl, what?
The way I love that woman, I just cannot.
I'm just because the other day I saw on Numa Perrier on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the director.
That's what I was wondering, because I saw her mood board for her latest project, and I was like, Keith Powers.
That's this.
And then I saw your colors from the book, but I didn't put the two and two together until just now.
Yep. That's what she was here doing. She was location scouting.
This is just goals on top of goals on top of dreams on top of just wow, girl.
It's such a dream. I can't even
for every writer out there. Yeah, like you want to write, and you want to write consistently, and you want to give the people what you got, but like to be able to take these words and have them grow into something else.
Yeah. And you just never really think it's going to happen, because honestly, no one goes into novel writing thinking they're going to like make it. Like, what does make it even look like? You know, it's
right, like
really
buy these books and you can live.
Yeah, exactly. That
but,
I guess. But and even that's a stretch. Like unless you're, you know, E.L. James or Stephen King. Yeah, like
that ain't really happening for a lot of novelists.
No, you have a day job, or you know, some income coming from somewhere else. So it's just not part of the writing dream. So like you don't even let yourself think that, you know, things like this can happen. There are happy surprises when they do. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy and surprised.
Yes, Queen. Well deserved. I'm just so delighted for you. This is just, it's so exciting to see, and and to see it up close. So I'm just like, yes, Tia, keep giving us words, keep growing and showing us what an actual writer can get done in this world.
And you write your book.
Yes, ma'am. I knew that. I was like, she's probably gonna bring that right on back. Oh my goodness. Well, Tia, I want to say again, congratulations to you, and thank you for giving me some of your time. I'm so proud.
Thank you. We knew each other when.